Please welcome back to the stage directors Gareth and staff.
Right, we've actually got some really cool posters signed by the pair of them if you ask a question in a minute, right? And it'll be good questions, not rubbish. So, how did you, yeah, you know what I mean. How did you guys meet, first of all?
I was cruising the gay chat room. He was pretending to be No, I went over to Indonesia to do work on a documentary, and that was about silat, and it was my first time I ever got to kind of know about the martial arts in Indonesia. So what happened was, when I was working on the documentary then, we were following like 5 different masters in Indonesia, and each of them had their own students we were filming as well, and he was one of the students we filmed. At the time, he was a delivery guy for a phone company. A violent one, but still. And yeah, when we were filming the group doing the practice session, it was one of those things where you kind of, sounds super cliche, but he had like a screen presence about him, even when he was just doing practice with the rest of the team. And so I was sort of, I can fucking fire you, Steve. So anyway, so what happened was, yeah, I kept elbowing my wife saying, no, we've got to get this guy, we've got to figure out we can do something with him. And I told him at the time, I said, oh look, we're going to come back to Indonesia and we want to make a film and I'm going to use you and I want you to be in it. He was like, yeah, okay, you know, not really in it at all. But then, yeah, we came back and before we were making the first movie then.
So, you're not from Indonesia, are you? You're from somewhere closer to home.
Oh, did you know this?
From Wales?
Yeah.
So, how did you end up in Indonesia? How did you end up there?
My wife kidnapped me, so now I'm working off to get my passport back. So. She's, yeah, my wife's Indonesian Japanese, and we were living in the UK for a while, living in Wales for a long time. And I didn't really kind of do enough to get myself noticed in the film industry here. So it was my own fault, I didn't really kind of push for that. And when she found me the documentary work, and we went out there, it was like 6 months of finding out that I kind of fell in love with silat, and the idea of actually working out there seemed to make sense. And she had family there, so it was just one of those, like, it was an easy move to make then.
How much choreography went into that? And how much planning? And who got hurt? How many people got hurt?
Well, I was fine. I was okay. I sprained my thumb pressing record a couple of times. When we designed the choreography, we spent like about 3 months working on just the fight designs. And that's usually just me, Iko, and Yayan. And the 3 of us will kind of just be in an office space with crash mats everywhere and a handicap. And we just go through, like, I'll give them the locations, the sort of the props and the opponents and then what the situation is, the tone of the fight, and then I tell them to fight their way out of that situation. So then they come up with lots of different movements, and we piece it all together afterwards. We start trying to figure out like where the peaks and the troughs should be during the fight, and we work out the structure of it. Then we start to videotape it using the handycam, and we figure out every single shot and every single edit like it would be in the final version of the film. So by the end of 3 months, we have what we call like a pre-viz video storyboard, so we can see the entire fight and as it would play out in the movie. And then when it comes to production, then we've got it as a template, so we use that as a guide, and we have like a guide of every shot that we need to do for the film. Oh, and injuries.
Did anybody get hurt? Did anybody get hurt?
Lots of people got hit. No, we try to make like a lot of the stunts look a lot worse than they actually are. We try to make them in a way that we can kind of execute them in a way that, not execute them, but stunts. We execute the stunts in a way that we kind of make it look a lot worse for the audience than it actually is when we're actually shooting it. So we try to make it super safe for everyone. But of course, certain times, little mishaps happen. The guy who snaps his back, the way we did it was actually very, very, very safe. We did 3 shots and we stitched them together. So what we did first of all is we took the wall out and we put crash mats all over the floor. And then he leaps over and he's controlled, like his path is controlled by a wire to make sure he lands in the right spot. So he flips over and then lands in the crash mats. Then we lock the camera in position, put the wall back in, lift him up 1 meter up off the wall, drop him onto his arse so his back goes down one side. lift him up again, drop him onto his back, so his legs go down the other. And then all three kind of get like stitched together by somebody who's way more clever than me to do. Where the injury happened. That's what you want to know, really. Is the injury. So for the injury, what happened was the guys who were pulling him on the wire to make sure that he hit his target, they pulled him a little bit too hard on the first take we did of it. So as he leapt over the wall, instead of him coming down on a nice trajectory down, he just went straight across, hit the back of his head on the wall on the top side, bounced off. The guys who were holding the wire, because of the impact, they lost balance and the wire just slipped. So then he fell, and because of the fall off the wall, he conveniently missed all of the crash mats we put up for him and dropped 5 meters down onto concrete. Oh. And we all shit ourselves. We all rushed out, and then we always have sounds terrible now. We always have paramedics and ambulance crew on standby whenever we shoot the stunts. So they came in and checked on him, and 10 minutes later he was come to. Like, okay, let's do it again. So we didn't. We sent him off to hospital, and then 4 days later he came back and did the stunt again.
Wow.
Right, few questions. Remember my poster. Man right at back row, grey shirt, yes.
We kind of, we were dealing with like a claustrophobic setting. We didn't want to go like 2, 3, 5, 1. We didn't want to go super wide on it. We wanted to kind of maintain that feeling of you being in this very tight space. So that was kind of one of the things on that. But yeah, I'll pass on your kindness to my DOP. I get quite lucky because a lot of my crew, they speak English a lot. And since the first movie, now in this one, I speak a lot more Indonesian. They teach me all the bad shit to say in Indonesian. So I can call people's mothers anything in Indonesian. But no, I mean, it's really, I got a really strong team, and you know, we work ridiculous hours out there, and you know, our plan at the beginning was to do like 6 days, 5 days, 6 days, 5 days. We ended up doing 6 days, 6 days, 6 days, 6 days. Shortest day was about 16, 17 hours. Longest day was 26. So yeah, so they work hard.
So the version we've just seen is the NC-17 cut. What is being cut for the R-rated American cut? And tell us about the music as well, because the music differs.
Yeah.
This is the original version of that.
Yeah. The surprise, I mean, there's not much cut. It's not much at all. It's literally like just lifting like 1 or 2 shots out. But yeah, most of the really good carnage is all in there. It's fine. So yeah, it's not a major issue really in terms of the cuts. I mean, tiny amounts. We're talking like about 4 seconds maximum, something like that. So the gunshots, the bang bang bang, 3 shot, that's it. That's fine. Music. Oh yeah, the music. So yeah, we got like a new score for the US version by Mike Shinoda and Joe Chabanese, and it's like really good actually, very good. It's kind of reminiscent of like 80s Carpenter films. So it's actually very cool. Like the soundtrack's really good. I know like a couple of people had like reservations about it and stuff like that, but like he's come to it from the right place, and he's done a really good job in it. But at the same time, I'm super proud of our guys as well. I feel they did a fantastic job, because the guys who did the music for this, they also did the sound mix of the full film. So they did the whole sound design with all the gunshots and explosions and everything else. And I worked them to the bone, basically, so they were fun. Like we worked on pretty low budget for the film, and me and my DOP come from more of like an independent background before we did stuff in Indonesia. And because we were using the fig rig a lot, which is the steering wheel mount for the camera, we decided that we figured out that you can literally pass it to different people and continue a shot. So what we decided to do is, when Eco drops down, we have one camera operator up on the top floor. And so he kind of falls onto his front and then pushes half his body through the hole and twists the camera. Meanwhile, just down below, we have a second camera operator stood on the table waiting, and when it comes down, he cuts it and then keeps on moving. I don't know. I've never shot here, so I wouldn't know yet. I've only done like independent stuff, which we kind of just shot and then ran away before the police came, so I haven't done anything professional here, so I wouldn't know. But it's one of those weird things. When we were doing this film, we kind of treated it like... Sorry, we treated it like we didn't want to have any kind of restrictions on us. So in terms of like the violent content, or in terms of the ambition of the gunplay and the shootouts and explosions, we didn't really kind of look at it as in, okay, we have X amount to spend, so what can we do with that money? We just had kind of pushed to make sure that we could do whatever we wanted to with it. Certain ideas we had to drop, but usually mostly to do with time rather than like to do with being able to execute it.
And I've been told to get Nico into this. Come on, Nico, come on. Fucking liven up, come on. Come on, come on.
You're gonna do some CLAT. Do a demonstration. We usually do this thing with Mad Dog. He does like a breathing technique to strengthen all the muscles in his stomach. And we usually showcase that by having Nico kick in full force in the stomach. Who wants to be kicked in the stomach?
That man there. Right, that man with the red t-shirt on.